Last night, I did something I might regret. I exported every single email I've sent to or received from my boss over the last 3 years. Roughly 1,400 emails. I dumped them into one document and fed it to ChatGPT in chunks. I only asked one question. Based on our communication, do I have a real chance at a promotion?
The analysis took under a minute.
But the answer? The answer stripped away every bit of professional confidence I had left. It mapped my submissiveness and quantified my invisibility. In 2024, we used AI to write our emails. In 2026, AI is telling us who we are in the eyes of others. It turns out I've been outsourcing more than just my writing. I've been outsourcing my reality. Last month, I had a fight with my girlfriend. I was exhausted and I didn't have the emotional bandwidth to deal with it. So I didn't just ask ChatGPT to write an apology. I fed it our last 48 hours of chat history and asked, analyze her current emotional state. What is the minimum amount of emotional labor I need to perform to get her to stop being mad? It gave me a relationship recovery plan. It told me to wait exactly 42 minutes before replying to show I was reflecting, and gave me a script that hit every psychological trigger it identified in her personality profile. It felt like a cheat code. I sent the message. She replied, I honestly didn't think you got it, but this is exactly it. I'm just glad you actually listened for once. I should have been happy, but as I sat there, I realized I hadn't actually heard her at all. A server in Virginia had heard her. I was just the delivery man for a scripted emotion. In 2024, we worried about AI stealing our jobs. In 2026, I'm realizing it's stealing something more expensive: the friction of actually caring. I've noticed these invisible shifts in how I make decisions. Take my move to a new city. Recently, I was offered a position that required relocation. In 2020, I would have talked to friends, listed pros and cons, and felt the knot in my stomach for weeks before deciding. In 2026, I opened ChatGPT and input all the variables: salary difference, cost of living, career growth, and lifestyle. ChatGPT gave me a perfect analysis in 3 minutes. It said, relocation appears favorable. The 15% salary increase offsets the 12% higher cost of living, and the city's tech ecosystem aligns with your 5-year goals. Logically flawless. It gave family proximity a weight of 10%. But 10% isn't a data point. It's the 3-second silence on the phone when I tell my grandmother I might not make it home for the holidays. It's the way she still describes my job to her neighbors, completely wrong, but with a weird pride that I can't even correct anymore because it doesn't matter. The AI sees a weekly visit as an inefficient use of time. It sees my hometown as a low-growth tech ecosystem, but it can't calculate the cost of being 3,000 miles away on the day she finally stops asking when I'm coming back. The algorithm optimized for my bank account. It didn't realize that the only thing I actually care about is being in a room with the only person left who remembers me as a kid. You can't optimize a goodbye. If you try, you're just becoming a stranger to your own life. Seeing the gap between the AI's logic and my reality was the breaking point. I realized I was outsourcing my humanity. So I decided to run an experiment. 30 days without using ChatGPT for decisions. I could use it for facts. What's the population of Paris? But not for decisions or to refine my words. The first real moment of panic hit me much sooner than I expected. I had to send a bad news email to a high-stakes client. Normally, I would paste my rough draft into ChatGPT to make it sound professional. AI would turn "we messed up" into "we are currently recalibrating our timeline to ensure optimal quality deliverables." It's a shield. It hides the mistake behind fancy words. Without AI, I felt naked. I typed, "Hi, we're going to be 2 days late because I underestimated the complexity of the back-end integration. My apologies." It felt like handing them a loaded gun to shoot me with. I sent it, and then silence. for 4 hours. I was sweating, thinking I sounded weak. Finally, the client replied. He was still annoyed, but he trusted me. The AI email would have started a 3-day back-and-forth dance of confusion. My raw email hurt, but it solved the problem. I wasn't using AI to be professional. I was using it to hide. But eventually, I hit a wall where my self-imposed rules were no match for my sheer exhaustion. I had to write a difficult negotiation email to a vendor who was overcharging us. I stared at a blank page for 45 minutes. My brain felt like mush. So, I broke my own rule. I opened ChatGPT and typed, "Write a firm but polite email disputing these charges." It took 4 seconds. And here is the painful part. It was better than my draft. Empathic, professional, perfect. I copied the AI's words and hit send. The vendor replied 10 minutes later, fixing the bill. But I didn't feel relieved. I felt obsolete. I realized that the 45 minutes of struggling wasn't wasted time. It was practice. It was me building a backbone. By clicking generate, I skipped the discomfort of standing up for myself. I didn't get better at negotiation. I just got better at hiding behind a mask. If I let the machine lift the heavy weights every time, eventually, I won't be strong enough to lift anything at all. The convenience wasn't just helpful, it was atrophy. The month ended, but I didn't delete my account. I'm not going to tell you I've quit AI for good. That's not how the world works anymore. ChatGPT is a GPS. It can show you every route, but it shouldn't decide where you're going. If you only follow the voice in the speaker, you're not a driver, you're just cargo. Everyone asks, "So what's the fix? Give us the rules." But giving you a 3-step checklist would be the most AI thing I could do. Life isn't a prompt. I just needed to understand one thing: the weight of consequence. AI can give you 10 million options. It can optimize your tone and fix your grammar. But it can't do the one thing that makes you a person. It cannot suffer the consequences of being wrong. If you use AI to break up with your partner, it's your heart that breaks in the silence, not the server's. If you let AI write the resignation letter that ruins your career, you lose the paycheck, not the algorithm. This is the only boundary that matters. Whoever bears the weight of the result must own the process of the thought. I've stopped asking, "Is this efficient?" Instead, I ask, "If this goes wrong, do I want it to be my mistake or a statistical error?" If I'm writing a boring status report, fine, let the machine have it. But if it's a letter to someone I love, or a decision about my life, or an idea that I want to represent who I am, I'm doing it myself. I've realized that the most valuable parts of my life are the ones that an algorithm would consider errors. The inefficient detours, the messy apologies, the hours spent struggling with a paragraph that AI could have finished in seconds. I'm still using ChatGPT. It's open in my browser right now, but I've stopped letting it act as my soul's ghostwriter. I'm reclaiming my right to be slow, messy, and wrong. So I'll leave you with this. When was the last time you had a thought that wasn't a prompt?